Good morning, everyone, and thank you again for joining us for today's Ransomware Virtual Lab brought to you by Veeam and Cloud Carib. My name is Olivia Dorset. I'm the marketing manager here at Cloud Carib. I'm really happy to have you all join us here this morning on this wonderful Thursday. So the reason why we decided to have this event was we took some time out to, talk to some of our customers recently, and we realized that this topic is something that they've been really concerned about. So we wanted to come to you guys and team up with our partners at Veeam to cover this topic for you and show you the technology that works best and how the expert here at Cloud Carib can assist you. So just to get us started and to speak to some of the non-technical audience that we have here is our VP of Solutions, Mark Aruda. Mark is and the solutions team at Cloud Carib are focused on transforming the region, and he has over 20 plus years of global technology leadership experience in startup to multinational corporations around the globe, and was formerly with the pre-sales and solutions portfolios at Huawei, CentralLogic, and AT&T. So Mark is going to speak to you guys really quickly, and then we will hand it over to Javier, and I will introduce him once he gets started. Mark?
Thanks, Olivia. Good morning, everyone. So as Olivia mentioned, with my background, I really focused on helping customers solve problems. And one of the biggest problems that we're facing today in an increasing manner actually is the threat of our data, which is really the lifeblood of a company, becoming increasingly under attack. And as the title mentions, ransomware becoming a very prevalent issue for us. We're going to see how Veeam actually solves that problem, but also obviously talking about Cloud Carib, we want to talk about how we help solve that problem using Veeam. So I've mentioned this before to anyone who's heard me speak, that Veeam is a great tool and a great partner, and in the right hands, it can be very powerful. And that's where really I think you'll see the team at Cloud Carib will demonstrate how having essentially the right people running the program is really the way you get the most benefit, because anybody can buy the product, but not everyone can use it the way Cloud Carib uses it to the benefit of their customers. I think that's really it, Olivia, in a nutshell.
Great. Thank you so much, Mark. So to get us started with the demo and the presentation, we have Javier Kerr, who is from Veeam, and he will be followed by the actual virtual demo lab with Haiman Amin, who is on our team here at Cloud Carib. So Javier has been working on the IT stage for around 20 years. Previous to Veeam, he used to be a systems administrator, managing everything from virtualization, VDIs, backups, and cloud, and currently one of the field engineers from Veeam on the Caribbean and Central American teams. And he's been working with Veeam for over a year now. You'll have a little bit of a back and forth today between Javier and Haiman as we set off the demonstration, and then we'll come back to Javier to complete the presentation. Then we'll see how Haiman addresses the attack that we're going to launch for you guys to see the technology in action. So Haiman Amin, who is from our team, like I said, is born in Alexandria, Egypt, and has been working in the IT field since 2005. He started out as an Oracle database administrator and has since then started taking on several roles. Most recently, he's been working here at Cloud Carib as an enterprise architect for the data platform, and one of his primary responsibilities is handling everything that is Veeam related. So he is absolutely one of the best and a great expert to have here on the team today. So Javier, you can take it away.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. My name is Javier Kerr, and as Olivia said, I'm working with Veeam. I have around a year working with them. And today we're going to talk about something that's been um, around for a while, and it's given headaches to a lot of people. So we're going to talk about ransomware, but not only ransomware, but how can Veeam help you uh, help you sorry, technical difficulties here. Help you recover from any kind of attack. So the objective of this event is how we can get some reliable ransomware protection using our products. Um, Also, this is not only focused on Veeam, because to protect your infrastructure from ransomware or any other malware is not only the technological part, it also involves some education on the customers, on the end users, and some other things. So we're going to talk a little bit of everything. Well, let's start by talking about how we can strengthen our digital resilience. Uh, we need certain things like ultra resilient backups, which is something that help us or keep us our data safe. There are many ways to do that. We're going to show a couple of them. Uh, Also, we're going to talk about instantly recover, because when you have a problem, what you want is to recover fast from any kind of recover quick from any kind of attack. And we're going to show you how to do it and do it in a safe way. Also, the cloud mobility, where you can also grow to the cloud if it's possible for your business. You can enable or extend your protection to the cloud, and also using cloud partners as Cloud Carib. So let's talk about the threat. The threat, which is ransomware. Okay, first we're going to talk about a little bit of the NIST cybersecurity framework. Probably some of you have heard of this. If not, NIST stands for National Institute of Standard and Technology. This is a collaboration between the industry, government, and some voluntaries, and it consists in a group of standards, guidelines, and best practices uh, to help protect your businesses from any kind of cybersecurity threat. Uh, this is uh, made of five um, five parts. First one is to identify the problem, how to protect it, how to detect it, how to respond to a threat, how to recover from it. Now, in these five parts, uh, we're going to talk a little bit how Veeam can help you in each one of these stages to help you recover. First, identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover in case of an attack. We have different kind of products that can help you in each one of of these states. Um, I'm going to talk about some of them in a few minutes, but this is an overall picture of the things that Veeam have to offer in each one of these stages. Okay, we're clear that one of the main things on a business is the data. Data is something that we need to take care because it's one of the main assets of any business. So how can we protect critical data from different kind of attacks? First, the educational part, uh, which is the people. Um, part, it's important to provide to your end users different guidelines about cybersecurity, how to be aware of or how to detect some things. Um, I know because I in previous in my in one of my previous jobs, we had an attack, a ransomware attack, and it came through an email that seems to be something that was fairly normal, but at the end it was an attachment that someone opened and it spread around the network. It caused a lot of damage. more or less like 80% of our servers were involved on this ransomware attack. Okay, but the first thing that we need to do is to talk to the end users and explain them how they can prevent this kind of things. That's something called the human firewall. Also, there are a set of processes that you, as a business, need to create. If you don't have them, you need to create them. Create a business continuity plan with cyber assurance. There's a rule for backups that we call the 3210 backup. I'm going to explain that a little bit in the next slides. Also, have a good plan of patch management for your servers and endpoints. And on the technology side, also provide ways to harden the security on your businesses. Talking about hardening with hardware or software, but it's something that it needs to be done. And this year, 2021, we need to start setting up stuff like this in our businesses to help to protect the data. That means a lot to us. So how the NIST Cybersecurity Framework and Veeam can help you? There are different ways and tools that Veeam provides, as I told you previously, to all this. On the protection side, how to protect your data, Veeam offers CDP, which is continuous data protection. Continuous data protection is a kind of a replication that can help you have an RPO as low as 2 seconds. This is something for critical servers where when you need to recover as low as you can, then you can set up a CDP option. We have normal replication. You get storage snapshots. You can set up local backups. You can set up offsite backups and archiving backups. This is to protect the data. And we're talking about RPOs. Now we're going to move to RTOs. So in RTO, you can perform instant failover if you're replicating. You can recover quick utilizing instant recovery. Also, we have a feature that lets you test your backups before going to production. So you can be sure that what you have there is gonna, it's secure for you. And also we have options to retrieve archive files. Now, I'm gonna pass to Haiman, which is gonna explain a little bit about the demo. Haiman, all yours.
Hey, thank you, Javier. Hello, everyone. So as Javier was showing, Veeam has a lot of solutions for handling ransomware and recovering from ransomware. Unfortunately, we do not have the time to go through all of these solutions, but we are going to go through a basic ransomware attack on that anyone can get hit during these days, and see how Veeam, using Veeam, you can detect this ransomware attack and recover from it. So here we have a VM that was created for this demo, and we have a script here to simulate a ransomware attack. What we're going to do is, by simulating ransomware attack, we're going to encrypt some of the files we have here in these folders and delete the original files. So here, if you look, you'll see that there are exe files, log files, ISO files, any kind of normal files you see in any directory. So we're going to run our demo. Okay. This will start encrypting our folders, files here, and then it will delete all of the original files, which is what it's just basically what ransomware attacks does. Okay, we're also, here's our Veeam VR. We have been running backups for this VM for some time. So because I'm using Veeam, I'm quite comfortable. I can recover at any time. So even if your security, there's a hole in your security that allows ransomware to affect you, you can use Veeam anytime to recover from it. We are using here our some of the best practices that have been stated by Veeam. We are encrypting our backup here. This Veeam server is outside the domain, which is one of the best practices for Veeam. And so yeah, right now this is running. It will take a time to encrypt. So I'm going to hand it over back to Javier. And when it is done, I will show you some of the alerts that we get from Veeam that show us that there's suspicious activity, that there's ransomware happening. Back to you, Javier.
Thank you, Haiman. Okay, so now that we know what we're gonna see on the demo, we're gonna talk a little bit about Veeam and what we offer. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. My bad. There you go. Okay, so let's start first with one of the main things, which is not only something about Veeam, but it's something we recommend, encryption. Encryption is something that helps you protect your data. And Veeam helps you encrypting all the jobs that you perform. You can encrypt it. We use encryption AES 256, and it helps you to prevent exploit if the files are leaked. As you can see on the slide, we can encrypt any kind of job, backup jobs, transaction log jobs, backup copy jobs, Veeam zip, and also the jobs that are saved in tapes. This is something done within each job. You define every the job, and you set up the encryption in each job. Okay. Now, knowing this, let's talk about the 3-2-1-1-0 strategy, which is to have 3 different copies of the data in 2 different types of media. One of these, it's preferred to have it offsite. If it's possible, to have an offline air gap or immutable one, and also the 0, which means no errors after the backup or testing, and recoverability verification. This is something which is we really push everyone to have this philosophy for your backups. That will help you having a safe your data safe in different places, and you can have a good recoverability. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about the Veeam components that can help you mitigate the ransomware or malware attacks in your infrastructure. The first one we're going to talk is Veeam Cloud Connect. Cloud Connect is part of Veeam, which works with a data center or cloud provided by, in this case, Cloud Carib is one of our Cloud Connect providers. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna provide backup repositories on their data center for you as an end user. So your backups can be stored safely in their infrastructure, which is gonna be monitored by them 24/7, and it will help you um, reducing the cost on uh, storage on some other things.
Javier, are you still there? I think we lost your audio for a moment.
Hello, can you hear
Oh
me?
yeah, there you
Hello?
go.
Oh, sorry.
I think you were muted.
No, yeah, it's something. There's a problem with my microphone. Sorry about that. Okay. One of the things that Cloud Connect offers is the insider protection. What is insider protection? As a you as an end user, you have permission to work on your Veeam infrastructure, but also providers like Cloud Carib can see what you have you're storing in their infrastructure. So let's say for a mistake, some of the operators on side deleted the backup that and had to be deleted. Now there's the insider protection where they, as administrators of the backups, they can they have the option to keep deleted files for a couple of days. If you see the slide, we have it set up as 14 days. That's something that can be discussed and changed with no problem. Um, and by enabling this, Cloud Carib can restore the deleted backup that was erased by mistake. This is one of the things that you can have when using Cloud Connect. Also, when the Cloud Carib provide the service to you, they will give you an amount of space that will be yours, only yours. It cannot be accessed to, by another business or any other user. That's just for you. It's protected, it's encrypted, and there's no way that somebody else can access that data if it's not you as the client. Something else that we have is the sure backup. What is sure backup? Sure backup is our proposal to verify the integrity of your backups. This is something that can be done automatically. You can automate this process, and it will help you. It will help you by verifying with different tests uh, the your backups, the backups that you have done. So let's say you have some backups of your core applications, and you are not sure if the recovery is going to work. So you set up a sure backup environment, and these these backups, which are going to create virtual machines, and it tests different things like the operating system. If it's consistent, it will verify the backups for malware or ransomware or any kind of virus. Um, it will verify the network. It will do several tests to all these VMs or these backups that you have done, and it will provide you a report, which is sent by email, uh, so you can know if if the backup the short backup process was good or not. All these processes are done in a, let's say, a bubble, a sandbox. So when you execute the short backup process, this will not affect what you have on production. So you can test the VMs that you have on production in this moment, and it will not affect what you have over there. As you see there, there are different tests, which are heartbeat ping applications, operating system, and malware, which are the two that are two more that aren't there. And this report will be sent by email. So you have a documentation about how your backups are doing, if they're fine. If there's a problem, it will let you know also. And you will know if you need to restore to the backup that you performed 2 days ago. You will know already that that backup is good. We have something called Linux Hardened repository. What's the Linux Hardened repository? It's, just think this as a safe. It's a safe where you deposit all your backups. Backups that are saved on this repository cannot be changed or deleted. There's no way that that can be done. You set up a number of days you want this data to be protected. And if for some reason you receive an attack, any kind, ransomware, malware, virus, if you receive it, the files that you have here, that they will not be affected by the attack. So you can recover from what you have in this repository safely. Also, you can, before doing the recovery, you can also execute the sure backup just to test if it's good. So this is another way that you can protect those backups in a safe way. This is just a little bit technical about what to expect from the Hardened repository. But yeah, as you can see, it setups date that the file can be deleted after that date. There are ways to set it up. The default is 7 days. You can set it up as uh, long as you want. Also notice on the picture below that how the file is seen on the operating system. All the attributes about reading, executing, writing are deleted, and it just uses a flag of immutability on each file. So these files cannot be deleted, not even by the root of the server. This is something that it's built on over Linux, so it needs a Linux VM or machine server, physical server, to work with. We recommend that the setup is done by a non-root account. We don't need to be root to set it up with Veeam Backup and Replication Console. And also another recommendation is to enable the XFS file system to take advantage of the block cloning technology. In this diagram, this is just to let you know that as soon as you connect the repository to your Veeam backup server, the only port that keeps open, it's the port 6162, which is the port for communication between the backup server and the hardened repository and the proxy. Also, there's the ILO or iDRAC or management connection that we recommend also to shut it down. There are some other recommendations for this kind of repository. First, one of the operating systems that we recommend to use is the Red Hat Enterprise. If not, there are some other flavors of Linux that you can use. Disable the ILO or iDRAC, SNMP on web ports. Even though there's a configuration tool that does this, it's always good to verify, double check if they're enabled and disable them manually if needed. SSH also needs to be disabled, and it's disabled during the process of the configuration. No root access. And the vulnerability is enabled. Also try to enable it on file system level. Also, we recommend to encrypt this backup. The backups that you save on this kind of repository, we recommend them to encrypt them, just to have another layer of security. Now we're going to talk about instant recovery. You had a problem and you need to recover, and you need to recover fast. Usually, you know that recovering from a backup can take, depending on the size of the VM or the server, can take up to 2 hours, 3 hours, depending on the size. But Veeam has a technology called instant recovery, which let you recover your VM or group of VMs in less than 5 minutes. This is something that's thank you. It's done. Thank you to our vPower NFS technology, which helps us bring the VM up from the backup storage directly, and it can be up and running in a few minutes. Okay, seeing Haiman just sent a message. Encryption is done. So we're gonna do a little stop here, and we're gonna go back with Haiman with the demo.
Thanks again, Javier. Veeam does have a lot of features to help with ransomware and to help with security and securing your backups in general. I wish we had the time to demonstrate all of them or most of them, but unfortunately we don't. But hey, feel free to reach out to Cloud Carib if you need any proof of concept for any of that. So the ransomware attack itself has just completed. Okay. As you can see now, the folders have encrypted files. These are not the original files. The sizes are different, and as well as the extensions are different, even if we try to open any one of these text files. Okay, let's see. You'll find that it's all gibberish now. So encryption has been completed. To speak about the detection part, Veeam One has, I mean, Javier is going to speak more about this, but Veeam One has these alerts that you should always be monitoring. So we have this, oh, sorry, not this one. It's actually this one. So as you can see here, Veeam did detect a possible ransomware activity. This is an alarm that is present in Veeam One, which looks at a couple of, let's say, side effects of ransomware attack. One of them is CPU usage. As we know, encryption or compression uses a lot of CPU. So if Veeam finds that it's using a lot of unsuspected CPU for a long period of time, it alerts us. It lets us know. Okay. It also looks at network activity, like unusual network activity or unusual I/O activity. And combining all of these factors together, it tells you, okay, we are suspecting there might be a ransomware attack. So this is one of the alerts or alarms that you should really not disable. I have gotten the request to disable them from our front end desk, but I'm telling them no, it doesn't matter if we receive like 10, 20, or 30 of these, as long as we're staying safe, keep it on and just check these VMs that you get alerted on to make sure that they are not actually infected. Okay. After that, well, the backup job is running again now. When this completes, there's another alarm that should be triggered. And I will show you that alarm during the next outing with me. And so right now I'll pass it back to Javier. Javier, back to you.
Thank you, Haiman. And well, yeah, Veeam one. That was our next topic. In Veeam one is something very interesting. It's a tool that's provided by us, by Veeam. That's a monitoring tool. Will help you to monitor what you have on your infrastructure, your virtual infrastructure, and also your backup infrastructure. But it also have the ability to scan your infrastructure and create alerts based on different things, different triggers. And one of them, it's we have some alerts that are designed to detect possible ransomware attacks. Okay, what you're seeing here, it's what are the triggers that are enabled on this kind of alarm. It will detect if there's a abnormal usage of the CPU, of the data store writing, also memory, traffic on the network over the VMs. It will verify for this. And for example, there are you have a group of VMs that they're usually around 12, 15, 20% of CPU usage daily. The memory goes up to 50%, but that's normal. And some other things. And all of a sudden, these VMs start having CPU peaks around 90, 100%, and they do not change for a while. Also, the memory goes up to the 100% or almost 100 without making any change. Also, there's a extensive writing on the data store, and this is something that's not normal. This is something that is is not what we used to see every day. So in this kind of situations, what Veeam one will do, it will trigger an alarm and send you an email. Also, there are ways that you can enable to send these alarms to Slack or Teams. So they will be the alert will be sent directly, and you as an administrator will have to verify if there's some kind of thing or something on these VMs. Maybe it's that they're applying some kind of changes on the VM, and for more than 15 minutes, the CPU and the memory went up, and also the writing went up. So it was in that case could be a false alarm, but this could help you detect if there's a ransomware activity on the network. Also, there are some other things that they verify if it's there is anomalous uh, backup size. Let's say your backup size usually is around 5 to 10 gigabytes a day, but from one day to another, the backup from 10 gigabytes went up to 200 gigabytes just like that. There's something wrong there, unless somebody uh, used that VM to load some data, which could be the case, but it's not something that we used to see on a day by day. We have so many alerts that can be used. We have some predefined alerts around 150, 60 more or less. And you can also change them or edit the alerts just to suit better what you have on your infrastructure. There are ways also to integrate Veeam one to the Microsoft System Center Operation Manager. In case you use it, there's a plugin that can help you integrate it with that tool from Microsoft. So Veeam one is something um, that can help you have a better view of what you have in your infrastructure. even on your data stores. If you have cloud repositories that's also monitored, so you have a view of everything, of your backups and of your virtual infrastructure. So ultra resilient backups. It's something that we must aim to have this kind of ultra resilient backups, just to upgrade our actual backup infrastructure. Talking about tapes, replication, storage snapshots, Veeam Cloud Connect insider protection, rotating hard drives, immutable backups, hardened repositories. All these are things that you can do with Veeam and can help you reach that ultra resilient backup that will help you recover and save your data uh, with no problem. So there are different types of offline, immutable, and air-gap repositories. First, the take media, which is one that's been with us since a long time ago, and some businesses still use them. It's one of the best ways to have your data secure, because you know it's not connected directly to anything, uh, unless you need to call it back from where you have it stored. We have replicas. Replicas, you can replicate your infrastructure to a secondary site uh, that can help you recover. If you had a problem on your main site, you can start your replicated VMs, and that can be done instantly with Veeam. There are also with some snap storage devices. We have a very good collaboration with the top brands, so you can set up Veeam to work with the snapshots that are performed by these storage devices, and you can recover from those snapshots. The Cloud Connect backups, which, as I explained first, are provided by Cloud Carib. So you will store your backups, will have a copy of your local backups on their infrastructure, and this is secure with them. They have a lot of monitoring and security on those repositories, so your data will be stored in a safe place. Rotating hard drives, immutable backups, and Linux hardened repositories are also some other things that we recommend highly, just to prevent any kind of data loss. Important about immutable backups: in case your business uh, is able to work with cloud repositories, you can extend your immutable backups to the cloud with AWS and some S3 compatible storage providers. So if that's an option for you, that this is something good that you can try, just to apply your immutability locally and then move your immutable backups to the cloud. Okay. Well, in this part, I was supposed to pass again to Haiman. I don't know if Haiman, you're gonna show us something more.
Yes, Javier, thank you.
Okay.
Let me share my screen again. Okay. Yes. Okay. So as we said before, the first alarm we received was that of the unusual, possible ransomware activity, where we had high CPU, high I/O, and or high network usage. After the job itself, the Veeam backup job itself ran on the infected VM, you also get a couple of other alerts. One of them is the unusual job duration. So what this basically says is that Veeam calculates like an average of how long an incremental backup takes. And we have found that this incremental backup took quite longer than what we're expecting. Okay, so here the threshold for the error is like 200%. So this incremental backup, instead of, for example, taking 2 minutes, it took actually like 5 minutes. So that means that there has been a lot of changes happening, which can be normal activity, but it was also a flag that, hey, maybe something went in and did something malicious, like for example, ransomware. Okay, that is the second alert. The third alert that you also get is the suspicious incremental backup size. So we are again, Veeam calculates like an average of how big the incremental backup should be. And during this run, we are 80 times more than what we usually expect. So this again is a red flag. It can be something normal. There could have been a surge in activity on that VM for any reason. Maybe it's a database that has a lot of activity on it, but it's also worth going in and checking it out just to make sure that this is what is expected. Okay. So as we said here, we have our infected files and we have to recover for them. So you get the call that, hey, we have this VM, it's isolated, there's a problem with it, and we need to recover it back. So the first thing, well, you can do it manually or Veeam can do it for you, is you need to shut down this VM. Okay. And then we're gonna use Veeam to just restore it. Okay, so we're going to restore the entire VM for now. Okay, well, we know that we have a couple of possibly infected restore points. I'm going to show you from inside Veeam what option you can use to actually check if this restore point is infected or not, but let's just be safe. We'll take the one that was before this session. So 9:30 a.m., okay? And we can here use the quick rollback option. Since we don't have any like hardware corruption or hardware problems, we can just use the quick rollback, which will roll back everything real quick inside the VM. Okay. This is the secure restore. So if this was an actual malware or virus or something that you were suspecting, then this is something that you should be running. Okay, this just scans the restored machine for any malware. And if it does, it gives the option to, do you want to, okay, let's continue with the recovery and disable the network adapters. Maybe we need to salvage some files from it or some information from it, or just stop the VM recovery. Okay. And do you want to continue scanning actually after you get the first error, or just stop at it? Okay, so I know this is not a malware for now, but if you do have this, if you do face this problem or this virus or this malware, you need to run this. Okay, and then the reason you can, for example, here it's just a ransomware demo, for example. And next, if the VM was powered on, you'll get an alert like this saying that the VM is powered on. Veeam will shut it down. And since the VM exists, it's just, Veeam is just telling us that, hey, I'm going to delete it and then recreate it again. So, okay. And power it on after you're done restoring. So this should take about, I think, 3 or 4 minutes from my previous run. So during that time, I just wanted to show you the Veeam 1 alerts that should be of concern to you. So this is the first one. It's called ransomware activity. Okay, so make sure this is not disabled. You can, if you feel that you're getting too much, you feel free to edit the threshold as much as you want to fit your case or your business needs. Okay, but do not. Again, I highly recommend that you do not disable this alert. Okay, there are the other 2 alerts that we received. The unusual job activity, I think it was called. Yep, unusual job duration. Again, you have the option. If you want to, you can clone it and create your own, or you can just change whatever rules you have here. Okay, and the last one was, what was it? Oh yeah, suspicious. Yeah, sorry. The last one was suspicious. Okay, suspicious incremental backup size. Okay, these are all built-in alerts. Veeam provides them out of the box. If you want to change them, if you want to make a copy and customize it as much as you need, feel free to do so. The suspicious alarm, it actually checks for things that are above a certain threshold and things that are below a certain threshold. So even if you have someone who is like a malicious person who goes in and deletes a lot of files, you will still get an alert that, hey, this backup is quite smaller than what we expect. So you might also want to check on that. Okay. Let's go back to our recovery. So we are rolling back. We are 13%. Should be a couple of more minutes. Olivia, do you want to maybe take a few questions while this completes?
Thank you so much, Haiman. So we got a few questions in the chat, and I see that Tanya from Veeam was able to answer the first one. So the question was, is the Hardened Linux repository a hardware agnostic solution that runs a secure image on any NAS/SAN hardware, or is it a packaged product? And so Tanya was able to respond, saying it is Veeam leveraging a Linux OS functionality, and you can use any server with local hard drive or SAN. The second question was, can the Hardened Linux repo work with other backup products as a CIFS NSF module, or it only works with Veeam products? So I let either you or Javier take that one.
Well, yeah, sorry, go for it, Javier.
Yeah, okay, no, that's something that works directly with Veeam, with the Veeam backup and replication console, because of the kind of communication that it supports, and also the ports that it uses. So it's something exclusive for Veeam.
Okay, thank you. The next question, what is the minimum Veeam release version that the Cloud Connect and Sure Backup add-ons work with?
Okay, if I'm not wrong, you're just doing a little bit of memory. Since version 9.5, you can have Sure Backup, and Cloud Connect probably around the same version. Cloud Connect is something additional. Sure Backup is part of the core of Veeam. So if you are running version 9.5 and you have an Enterprise or Enterprise Plus license, you should have Sure Backup on your Veeam configuration.
All right, great. Thank you. And these are all coming in from Brian. Thank you so much for your questions, Brian. The last one from Brian we have is the Cloud Connect service a VAR product offered by Veeam, or could it be implemented on customers' preferred cloud providers?
Okay, we as Veeam, we don't provide the service. We have partners like Cloud Carib that they do provide these kind of services. So it will be through them. Your question about if it can be implemented with other cloud providers like Azure and AWS, which are public clouds, the answer is no at the same level. What you can do in with those partners like Azure and AWS is set up scale out repository where you can extend your backups and save them directly to the cloud. Well, not directly, but with some policies, your backups will be moved from your local storage to the cloud. So that's something you can work with. But the Cloud Connect directly, it's only through partners.
Great. All right, thank you. So we only have just a few more minutes left. I think about 3 minutes. Haiman, are you close to being done, or do we have
Yeah,
one more?
this shouldn't take more than another minute or two.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's we're just going. I mean, oh yes, jump to 96%. Okay, it's almost done now. So I'm just gonna show that the VM is back up and the files are readable again. So yeah, after this point, it's back to you.
And I got one last question that was asking about purchase options. So if you're referring to licensing, we can also help you clarify and get more information and provide a proposal. So please feel free to reach out to us at info@cloudcarib.com or sales@cloudcarib.com, and we can get you guys another walkthrough and even talk to some of the guys at Veeam as well if you have any more questions that we weren't able to answer today. So Haiman, I think you are almost ready to wrap up, and we will be able to close and let everyone get back to the rest of their Thursday in just a few minutes. So thank you guys for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Olivia. Yeah, I mean, it's just powering on. Okay, so the restore has been successful. Let's just power on the VM. Might take a few minutes to power on, actually.
I guess while that's happening, just for anyone that might have joined late, Haiman, you could just give them a recap, just really briefly, of what happened.
Yeah, sure. So we had a VM, and we simulated a ransomware attack where we encrypted a few files and deleted the original files. So this is like the main concept behind a ransomware attack. After that, we saw the kind of alerts that Veeam One can provide out of the box. For this kind of activity, we saw that you can monitor you get alerts for the VM itself, having high CPU activity. And you also get alerts that the job itself that's backing up this VM is misbehaving. So if it's taking too long or something. After that, we used Veeam to restore the VM, and hopefully now we would get the files, the original files that we want. So yeah, here you go. Now there's a text file. If you open it, it has normal text in it. So we were able to use Veeam to restore everything. Since this is just a software problem, we use the quick restore, which is one of the quick restore options that quick rollback, which is one of the restore options that Veeam has for quickly getting things up. We could have used also many of the other options that Javier pointed out, like instance VM recovery and all that. And just to say it again, make sure to scan your backup before you restore it. And that's it for me. Olivia, back to you.
Thank you so much, Haiman. Javier, thank you guys again for this great presentation. Everyone that attended today, you will get an email that will have a recording, a recap in case you missed anything. So thank you so much for your time, everybody. And again, if you have any questions, anything we didn't answer, you would like to speak to one of our representatives to get more information, please email us at info@cloudcarib.com. Thank you, everyone, for your time, and we will see you at the next Cloud Carib event. Thanks again.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Al. Have a nice day.